Okay,
Yes.
everybody, welcome to this is, I believe, our 19th um, session. I guess is that what we're calling it? Yes, ninth, 19th session. And on our last session, we started doing, we delved deeper into databases, and we went over the concept of what an ORM is, or Object Relational Mapping Technology. Which again, which we agreed was it's kind of a framework that lets you use objects or databases. I mean, objects in the database or a database as tables. I mean, not a table. Oh, sorry. As objects in our code in C sharp. Let me repeat that again. Okay. So what an ORM is, it lets you use database tables and objects as objects or classes in your code, in our C sharp code. Is that clear for most people? I mean, that is, right?
That is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that technology, the framework that we use to do that, is called Entity Framework. This is the Microsoft version of that technology. There are other other technology, same technology with different names. One is called Hibernate, which the Java people use, and then Hibernate, which is kind of like another one that is like Entity Framework for .NET, uh, and is for Net Hibernate or something like that. Yes. So I mean, I want to expand just a little bit more on this. So what it is it's a wrapper. Basically, what it is, all it is, it's a wrapper. So what the entity framework or the ORM framework does is grabs the database and wraps it around and turns them into objects so you can use them. I mean, I want you two guys to understand and kind of get the concept. I'm pretty sure you understand that already, but it's one of those things that you have to kind of keep banging at it until it becomes second nature, I think. Yeah, so you guys remember when we make the connection, when we use entity framework on this database, it created these objects. It created the item object and the character object. And we are able to interact with those objects in our code and use them and then interact with them in our code and then kind of send them to the database or get them from the database and update them and then send them back or just get them just for display purposes. And it's a very, very, very powerful technology. Normally, again, I want you to be aware of this. Normally, I did kind of like um, a quick example, right? The previous, well, not the previous, another technology that we can use to contact to the database is called ADO. I mean, we're sort of using ADO in a way, but yeah. So the way you do that is like, hey, you create an ADO object and you say, hey, open this database, which is our database here. And then you create a connection with that database. And then you say, hey, man, you send a query to it. You say, hey, remember how we could do queries here? Like select star from, I don't know, select star from character where HP is 11 or something, right? I'm gonna highlight that, then I'm gonna execute it. And then we get that. So we get a result, we get a record set of sorts, right? So basically, you could sort of create the connection and then send that queries, and then that will return something, and then you could put it in this one. Okay. We can do that in Entity Framework as well. So we have the technology, we have the advantage of being able to do this, sending queries, right? Or using the objects from the database and then interact with them the way we have been. For example, we have created persons, and then we have sent them to the database and saved them to the database and gotten them a roster, and update them and do all sorts of, and even delete them, do all sorts of cool stuff with them. And so we have both. We have the power to do both. I mean, we have a lot more power to do a whole bunch of stuff, but that is a few of the things that we can do to interact with a database. So far, so good. So far, so good. Yes? Are we somewhat okay? What okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Now,
Yeah.
now I'm about to do something which is pretty sweet, right? Okay, so remember we created this model based on this database here, right? So we have two sweet tables, and it's pretty cool. Let's create one more table, just for now. So how do I create a table? Help me out here. Well, you guys know how to create tables, right? Right click, boom. All right, there's going to be a weapons table.
Sorry to say, your screen is very hard to read at the moment, actually.
Oh, okay. Should I slow down? Let me see if I could close anything. Is this taking on? No, probably not. Okay. Yeah, whenever that happens, let me know. That way I can refresh. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to try sharing again. Okay. How is that? Let's see. Is that better?
Still pretty rough.
Damn.
Are you seeing that too, or is it just me?
Well, I'm not sure. Dave, how does it look?
Yeah.
Does it look bad or let me do it one more time. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna go here, source. Because if not, I could go downstairs. But let's see. How can you guys see this?
It's looking all right. It goes in and out, but it's readable.
It's sort of readable. Okay, no worries. Yeah, just let me know. Feel free to stop me at any time so I could slow down or stop. Or I'm probably just going to start doing these from downstairs if it becomes a problem. Because I'm on Wi-Fi right now. It should be wired. So we're sort of okay right now?
For the time being, yeah.
Okay, yeah. The second it happens, let me know. No shame in the game. It is all good. Okay, so we're going to create a weapons table. So let's keep it simple. Name, type. We've done this many times, and this is good though. This is good. Cost, I guess. Is an int. And description, I guess. Damn it, it grows so big and I forgot, damn it. It grows so big and so fast, you know? Can't help it. Okay, so yeah, that is good. See, almost forgot. ID. And none. And this, we're gonna make it primary key. And we are going to give it an identity. Do you guys remember what identity is? It auto increases, auto
Yes, a
increments.
unique.
Go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
It's a unique identifier.
All right. It is. Well, it auto increases for you. The unique identifier is the primary key, so they're sort of different. But it's we're doing both at the same time. I'll go over that concept in a little bit. What you guys are describing, it's a primary key. The identity just means that it's keeping track of the ID and increasing it and decreasing it for you. Most of the time, they happen to be the same, and a lot of the time they should be the same, or they are. But in most of there are times where it won't be, or it will be too. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a weapon. Okay.
I wish I had a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah. I might get some weapons this weekend. They have that sweet. You guys should drop by. It's not too far from you, right? It's Steam. You heard of this? You heard of the Steampunk World's Fair, right?
That's in
Piscataway.
Oh, Piscataway.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'll send you a link. Both of you should check it out because it's free and it's nice and it's really awesome. Normally it's like $50 to go just to see the vendors, or probably more, like $80. But they're doing kind of a special one and it's free, so it's pretty ridiculous. It's nice. Just the vendors alone. Okay, so we have we got 3 tables now, right? Okay. Do we have 3 tables? Yes. So I updated my database, right? But what am I missing? Remember, the whole point of this is to use the same objects in our code and have the same objects or access to the same objects in our code from the database. So we sort of need to update the objects from the database, correct? That sort of makes sense, right? Right, fellas?
Right,
yeah. Yep. Yep. How does it look? Is it looking okay here? Yes, sort of. Okay, so here we go. So you might have to kind of go over or take notes for this, or just play around with it. So I'm gonna right click on it. Okay. Actually, are you guys right clicking on it? All right. So, there's the diagram here. All right. Actually, I don't think I have it set up like this. All right. Just double. Yeah. Give me a second. Okay. Here we go. Just open it by double clicking. Yeah, I don't think I have it set up the other way. Okay. So this is, it's called a EDMX file. So this is kind of a diagram of the database, of the image of the database that we have. Well, this looks like Access, sort of, right? These are the tables. Somewhat. Yeah. So what we want to do is we kind of want to try to update it from the database. So I'm going to look around and see if there's anything to update it. So I'm going to, not in here, so I'm going to right click here. Okay. So, do you guys see this? So I right click. I right clicked on the white stuff over here in the background. And then one of the options is update model from the database. Okay, so I'm going to hit that. I mean, that makes sense that, update model from the database, because we're kind of emulating the model from the database. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. We need to make sure we're current.
Yep. So I'm going to do that right now. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to update. Sure, add tables. If there's any, basically this says, hey, how do you want to update your database? Okay, I want to, if there's any tables, add them, right? And maybe refresh all of these. And I guess delete. Yeah, delete any, I guess. But yeah, so delete all of these. I mean, not delete. Refresh all of these and add any tables that have been added, perhaps. Okay, this might crash because I kind of totally updated the database and changed some of the foreign keys. I mean, the primary keys, but it's fine. I mean, its job is to be able to handle all of that. So, are you ready? I'm gonna hit this. Let us pray. Here we go. Okay. It's going to take a little bit. Okay, so I think it might have done something here, or maybe not, but we have to do one more step. Okay. We need to save this here. Actually, Okay, also now give me 1 second. Hold on, mapping details, generate. Okay, so because we have to generate the model somewhere. God damn it. I think I forgot this. All right, so let's save this right here. Let's save it. Generate database from model. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's see if it has been. If not, I'm gonna have to kill it and then restart it or something. Okay, come on. Oh, all right. Oh, it added it down here. I'm like, where the hell is it? But it's down here. Do you see it? It updated it when I saved it. You see, when I hit save, it updated the diagram. So we have the weapon. We have item, character, and weapon. And do you guys see it over here? So we have character, we have item, and we have weapon. Let's see. All right. Let's see. This one is still kind of messed up a little bit, I think, which I'm gonna need to probably fix manually. But we'll see what I can do, or probably delete it and then update. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Actually, we could just go with weapons for now. Alright, that's fine here. Saving. Okay, so it updated from the database. I'll fix these later. So there we go. I'm gonna torch 2. Right, like 2 and cost 11. All right, I'm gonna do a test, and I'm not gonna use character now because I think I need to update the character, the keys from the database or something. So for now, I'm just gonna use item. It's fine, which is in the create character option. Action. So when we come in here, we're going to open a DB connection. We're going to create a new item. We're going to populate that item with information. We're going to add it to the database, and then we're going to save changes. And that should persist this information, this new item, to the database. All right. Are you ready to run it? Okay, here we go. Let's see. Okay. That's weird. It's kind of slow today. All right, so we're in home and then create character. I think it was. Okay, are you guys ready? So
Ready.
What's gonna happen when I press this? Tell me. What should happen?
It's not Sparkles, is it?
Was that?
Sorry,
Oh,
no.
oh, sorry. No, sorry.
God of Thunder joke, Sparkles.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, you just saw it today. Man, that's such an amazing movie. Good. So we came in. I mean, we'll talk about that a little bit, but yeah, we come in to create character, and what happens? Tell me, in your mind, tell me what's gonna happen. I mean, run me through the flow. Once I go here, go ahead. Dave, what's up?
Hmm?
Give me the flow. What's gonna happen once I press that?
Okay.
Go ahead. Give me the goods.
I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know. You have to let me know if you can't see it. So,
Sorry.
all right. Let me try to reset this thing here.
It's not you, it's this phone I'm using.
Oh, you're on the
Oh,
phone.
Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah, my laptop's fritzing.
Oh, okay. So I'll leave you alone for now, and you watch the video a little bit then. All right. No worries.
So in
Okay.
this case, we're going through create character.
Yeah.
We're no longer calling on the user to input, right? We're just using
No,
it straight
no,
from the database.
Well, you tell me. What are we doing here? What's happening? Because that's what
From
code.
the-
You just read what it says.
I can see we're calling on the database to create a new object.
Yep. Connection to the database. Yeah.
The object is going to be item with a name of torch 2. Description provides light 2.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And a cost of 11.
Okay.
We're going to add that item to our list and save the changes.
Okay. So in essence, we're adding it to the table, which is the list in the database. So that is correct. And then what? And then what's gonna happen?
It's a good question. I don't know what view we're going to. I guess we're just
Well, there's none, so it's gonna say, "Hey,
right here.
give me the view." Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I am going to press it. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Let's see. Mapping fragments. Did we update the item? Did is weird position runtime. All right. Character
Fragments.
ID. Yeah, that's weird. I think I was messing around with the database earlier.
So wait, it says line 16. What line 16 are we looking at?
It is.
Controller model 1.
Controller. Oh no, this isn't in here.
That's nothing we touched,
no,
is it?
Mapping like no, there's nothing touch. No, this is it has nothing to do because this is another issue. I think. Remember, this is a different issue. The database I kind of messed it up when I updated. Let's see. I think I might have to recreate it. Give me 1 second. Hopefully it will. Yeah. The problem is that I changed the primary key here, and then so I messed around with the model while this was here. So I'm gonna have to kind of recreate it because I kind of messed it up, I think.
It seems like no matter what system you're working in and how you manage this, it's very easy to break this stuff.
Sort of, yeah. It's also I'm kind of doing things like normally you create this, right? And then you create the code. But I'm kind of changing this, and I'm kind of changing things at the same time, and then updating this. Normally it's not so bad. Also, I'm kind of a little bit it's been a while since I messed around with this thing here. But yeah, it can be a pain in the ass. Now give me a second here. And I agree. Delete from model. Okay. character. Yeah, because the error that is giving me has nothing to do with this table. It's talking about the character. So,
Okay.
so I'm gonna try to remake it. Hopefully. Let's see. Mm. Also, I think there's another way of doing this that it's slightly easier. I just chose it this way because I just want to get us to the point where we have access to it. But normally it's not this bad. I'm just kind of looping it up here a little bit. So I'm gonna update model from database again. Hopefully this time it gets it, and if not, we'll just continue and just remove it from and continue with these two. Because today I want to kind of get us in the goal for today is getting these bad boys and using them and getting used to the flow of information from the database back and forth. Okay, this thing did it update. Let me try again. Add tables. Also, for some reason, my computer is a little bit weird. I mean, we'll just continue with these two. Yeah, I think I kind of killed that table, or I kind of messed it up. Now we'll just kill it and restart it. All right. Okay, so again, also this is good though because you guys can see the more you see this even if we mess up, we're still kind of getting good experience because you get used to this, you get used to the UI, and you get used to all this stuff. And let's see, come on. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Also, I'm an idiot, and I think I fixed it just by doing update, but I kept thinking it wasn't working because it keeps dropping this down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no way to control that though, is there?
No, don't think so. Oh well, you could drag them around, but no. Oh, I think so. You right click and then I'm pretty sure there's one of these things over here. All right, well, so let's see if this works. If this works, then this is great because it will help you fix some problems later on if you encounter them. But this is very useful right here. Do you guys remember before that this was kind of, you see the primary key? This thing had a whole bunch of primary keys. So well, let's see if it works first.
It has an ID now.
Yes, yeah. I'll show you what the problem was later. It's actually my fault. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So well, we don't even know if it's gonna work. Let's hope it works. Okay. So this is extremely good. This is very, very, very good. This is extremely good practice here. Okay, so let's hope this works. When do you guys, what do you think we're gonna start using air conditioning? Because this is kind of stupid.
We're using one, right? As a matter of fact, we're using two right now.
No way.
Yeah.
No, seriously, man, because it went from cold to storms and snow and all that stuff, and then it went straight. It went straight. They're doing it live, man. Like I posted, it's doing straight live. This is crazy. Okay, so let's see. Okay, guys, cross your fingers. Let's hope this works.
It better work.
Yeah. Yes.
Loki says, I can. Whoa, that works.
Yes.
That's it working. Okay.
Well, remember because we got up to here, it returned the view. But remember, since we don't have a view for this create character, the view for create character is returning. It's like, it's none. So it's telling you, hey man, I look for, it was not found. I looked for it and it wasn't found. I look for it over here. I look for this file, this file. I look for it everywhere, and I couldn't find it. Are you sure that is the view you want to return? And of course, right now, that's we don't have a view to return. So the whole point to this was to return, well, create an item and put it, put torch2 in it. So let's go to the database. How do I view the items inside the table items? Well, just you guys know, right? Just right click, select sub 1000. There we go. So it is there. That is beautiful. Do you guys see it?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. All right, so in that case, I am going to, this is really good. I think, and this is extremely good practice, and this is going to be very useful for you guys for troubleshooting purposes. Because to fix the problem that I had and create a new database map, okay, let me see, let's make sure this worked. So I'm going to get rid of the code for creating an item. And now let's see if the code for creating a character works, because I fixed the keys, the primary key. Okay. So all this does is just create a character, populate it, create a connection with the database, put the character inside the table of that database, and then save changes. And then return a view that doesn't exist. So let's run it. And if this works, then we are in a good position. We're in a very good position. Let's hope that it works. Okay. And then we're going to go create character. And I'm going to press it. Boom! So we reach return view, which doesn't exist. So that means we executed all of this code here. And I'm going to go to the database and check if that character was created. Boom, look at that. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet. So I created this character here with these stats, and we send it to the database and we saved it. So that is beautiful. That is a beautiful thing. Okay, so what I need you to do is forget all the stumbles that we did earlier. Just forget about that. Don't worry about that. And whenever you want to generate, whenever you update the database or you do any changes to it, all you need to do to update the model, just open it, and then right click and then update model from database, and then save it. Once you save it, then all the changes are going to be reflected. Also, keep in mind that you have to scroll down to see some of the changes that, like new tables and things like that, because sometimes they don't all pop up here by themselves. So there's you're going to see you notice nothing changed or nothing happened, but it might have gone down here, or some of the changes might have been somewhere else. Okay, so now we are legit. We are legit. Okay, so we have database access. We have database connections. We have access to data. We are data masters. Masters of the universe. That's right. Born to be kings. That's what we do. And we're immortals too. That's right. You guys never seen Highlander? Oh, that's a song, actually. That is a song. Okay, but the show must go on. Of course. Get some water here. And, so we got our sweet database. We got the connection. Oh, yeah, let me kill. Let's see. Yeah. We got the connection. and we can interact. We could, put data, update it, delete, do all sorts of stuff here. Let's make believe that we're in code here somewhere, and let's assume that we have a database connection already. We call it database, right? Okay. So, what if I wanted to delete a character? How do I do that? Do you guys remember?
I don't. Character delete.
Well, yeah. Well,
Character that we
remove, baby. That's right. This is the same thing. Well, database.character, because character is the table that we want to mess around with, right? And then remove. And you have to give it which character you want to remove. So before that, you could just say, hey, var the character to delete equals, So remember, you have to have a handle on the character you want to delete before you do anything to it. Repeat that with me. You have to have a handle. You have to have an instance of it. You have to tell it. You have to pass it what you want. Very important. So character and then find. So remember, find, you give it kind of a primary key value, and it will get that character. So since we have ID, let's delete the dragon, which is 7. So find that with the ID of 7. And then remove it. Character to delete. And then how do I actually delete it? What do I need?
I'm going to save the changes.
That's right. If you don't save the changes, nothing happening, because this is just local. You gotta save changes pushes those changes to the database. Okay. So this is pretty good right here. How do I? Let's say I want to update. I want to update Dan. His ID is 5. Let's make believe I know his ID. I want to update Dan. I want to update his job to Warlock. I want to update Dan's job to Warlock. How do I do that? Remember, I have a connection called database, which you can use. So how do I get Dan, and how do I update his job to Warlock? Dan is, I think, ID 5. Set job of Dan to Warlock. His ID is 5. What do you think? All right, Dan, go ahead. How do you do that?
I'm trying to recall. I'm drawing a blank.
Well, I mean, remember, anytime, guys, we're doing this, you have to break whatever you want to do into steps and logical steps. So, and just sound it out. Just sound out whatever you want to do, and then the more you sound it out, the problem kind of shapes itself, or the steps to solving the problem. Not solving, just the problem itself, or the steps you need to take to solve it. The more you repeat it, they kind of shapes themselves, right? So the whole thing is, we want to set your Dan's job to Warlock. So, well, first of all, what is the first thing we need to do? What do you think? So remember, what is the most important thing that I said before? What do you need before you do anything? You need an instance. see. Let me write it here. Update, delete, unique instance of the object record. Okay, yeah, so you need an instance of what you want to update or what you want to interact with. So how do I get, well, so how do I get your instance from the database? I want to get this guy here. How do I get that from our code? It's all right. I mean, we can definitely well, let's do it, and then, because remember, this whole repetition, the more you do it, it's going to become second nature. So, well, so first of all, let's get an instance of Dan, or the object that we want to update. So, well, his ID is 5, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say, I'm just going to call it Dan, right? Variable. Let's see. And how do I get something from the database? You guys remember? So database dot, well, which table do I want to get Dan from?
Character.
There you go. Yep. And remember, we have find. Find finds returns an instance of the record for a certain ID or primary key. So do we know Dan's primary key or ID?
Number 5.
Exactly. So let's give it number 5 right there. And there you go. So when we execute this, right? Basically, this is saying, hey, database, go to the character table and find me somebody with the ID 5. Remember, this is kind of the easy way. Soon we will do the big boy, grown-up way of doing it, because this is not always satisfy what you need to do. We're just keeping it like this for now because it's kind of easy. So give me somebody with, the person with the ID 5, and put that record or that character in here. Var is just a shorthand. Basically, var is just any variable that this returns. So it's kind of like a doppelganger. It's kind of like a shifting type. Well, not shifting. It's like basically it will be the type of whatever this returns. So, I mean, we could just say person. I mean, not person. We could just say character if that's easier. Because so we're saying, hey, create a character, an instance of Dan. It's a character. Name it Dan in memory. Remember, this is a box in memory. Okay. And in this side, we're saying, hey, from the database, go to the table, the character table, and find the person with the ID 5, and put it in Dan, in here, in the character Dan. So now we have a connection to Dan. We have a connection to the item, the object Dan, in the database. That's what that does. It's kind of magic. So now that I have a connection to it and I have an object, a character object, which is a class, right? Remember, all of this is just a class. Don't let it confuse you. It's a class. It has a name, a job, all these things. This is just created for you from the database. Entity Framework is doing that for you. But this class is not very much, it's not much different than the other stuff that you're used to, the normal classes. Okay, so I have Dan, who is a character class. This is an instance of a character class. And so how do How do I update his job to Warlock?
I'm not entirely sure how we write it out, but we do.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. You see, you sound it out, and then we figure out, because sounding out is the first part, and syntax, syntax will come. You're gonna have to write it if you don't remember, like, 3 or 4 times, but the syntax is the bullshit part. The syntax is the easy part, because we're gonna be using syntax in a couple of different things. So don't worry too much about the syntax. Worry more about the idea and the logic of what you're trying to do. So exactly. So go ahead. Sorry, interrupted you.
Do we want to do what database character job equals Warlock?
Something like that.
Did I jump too far ahead?
You went very, very far ahead. Remember, it's kind of important to it's important to remember that you have a copy. You see, Dan.
Oh, Dan.job equals Warlock.
Exactly.
Warlock.
Yes. You see, Dan.job equals Warlock.
Because you made an instance.
Yep. This pretty much is the equivalent to this row right now when you make an instance. It's a connection. Remember, Entity Framework is very powerful. So this, when you say, hey man, give me this and put that instance, connect this row to this instance of, the character. Because remember, all these rows, right? They're a character. They're a class, kind of like the equivalent of a class in ours, like a class, character class. So give me Dan's and put it in here. Create an instance in memory and put it here. Remember, all of this is just a box that has information about a character, like that. Instead of a person, it has character. And so now, since we have access to this instance, we have access to the information and the properties and fields inside this instance here. So let's say Dan.job equals Warlock. And what happened? Let's give Dan 50. Well, let's make him. Yeah, let's set his goal to 50. How do I do that? Dan, are you want gold?
That gold is equal to 50.
That's right. Equal to 50. See, so remember, that is kind of the flow. Remember how we have the flow for actions and controllers, right? One follows into the other one into the other ones, right? The flow for the database is you get an instance, or you get a hold, you get a grasp, you get to touch whatever you want to deal with in the database. In this case, this record here. And then you affect that, or you have an instance to it, and then you do it. And then what's the last thing we need in order to keep those changes? So now we have updated Dan information, right? But in order to
save the changes.
I'm sorry, what?
We still save the changes?
Exactly, yeah. So now we do save changes. Blip. So once we do that, these changes that you just did to it should be saved. Okay, so this is doing many things at the Thor Gods. Okay, I get a different dude here. And we're deleting 7. Who was 7? Dragon. Okay, so this is doing a whole bunch of stuff back to back. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Find 5. Well, I'm gonna run it. Let's see if all these changes happen. Okay. But yeah, no, this is good. This is good. Like I said, once you kind of set up and deal with the database part, you don't really have to go back too much. You just use it. But it's very important for you guys to understand why you're using it and how to update it, how to change it. It's very important. And again, you guys are learning this stuff amazingly fast. You guys are already kind of at a junior level. I am not kidding. All you need is just a little bit more of the actual programming part. We're gonna move on after today, and it's gonna be tasty. So I'm gonna create character here, and I'm gonna run it. Boom. Okay, so since we reached the view, that means that all this stuff, since we reach here, right? That means that all this stuff executed. So let's go to the database and update. So just execute it again. Boom. Okay, so dragon is gone, which we deleted it, right? Okay. There's Dan. Dan is now a warlock, and he has 50 gold. Look at that. And we created Thor, which is Thor's cousin, I guess. He's a god. He's gods.
Loki.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. This is Loki in disguise. I guess. Yes. So you guys sort of get, so remember the flow. Let's write the flow, because again, this is important. This is very important for you to understand. Flow of database. Flow of database. Flow of database. I still need to, yeah, I gotta send this to you. Flow of database interaction. Boom. What's the first one? What's the first one that you should get? Get instance. Hold. Touch what you want to affect. And to affect it. Delete. Do what you need. Well, could be delete, display, etc. Do what you do. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so how are you guys feeling about this database, creating a database, and using Entity Framework, updating Entity Framework? I know the updating part, don't get too hung up on that. If you have any questions, I mean, I still get hung up on it, so don't worry about it too much. The important lessons here is just remember, when you deal with the database, when you deal with objects this way, just get an instance first and then affect changes. But you need something that you need to affect first. So in this case, you see, I got the character to delete. I went to the database and said, hey, give me whoever has 7. And then put it here. So this is where I get a hold of that instance. This is where I'm touching it. This is when I can access it. This is kind of like a pointer said, hey, okay, we're dealing with this here. Okay, so now, I have this. Hey, remove this instance from the database, and then save the changes. Okay, here. And that is, I mean, this is the very, very kind of simplified version of what you can do with an ORM, Entity Framework, and a mapper. And object relational mapper or mapping, and Do you guys do you think you're kind of comfortable with it? From one
From
to
one to
10, how do you feel about this? Like a seven, six point
Probably closer
five,
to a 6. I'll be spending the next couple days working on it to
No,
brush
no,
up.
yeah, no problem, no problem. So like a 6.5. This is hard shit. I'm not saying it's not, so don't worry. I mean, I know people. Like I said, I mean, this is kind of advanced junior developer shit. You're not even supposed to know this.
What?
Well, you're supposed to know it, but well, this is stuff that it's very difficult to learn unless you're working. If you know this before you actually go and try to get a job or something, it's ridiculously good. Because if you could tell them what an ORM is and how to use it and you know how to map it, and then once we get into LinkQ, um, once you start using LinkQ, then that's pretty much where you know you're kind of like a true junior. But we'll get there soon. But yeah, so a 6 to 7 is that cool? 6 to 7. Okay, good. So now we got home controller. Remember, if you want to update this and any changes, just double click, right click it, and then just update from database and get any new tables, and then save it. Okay. Let's see. To create a small RPG. So now let's say let's do our next plan here. If I ask you to create a character creation page, would you be able to do it? And an edit page for it? And a roster page? Same thing for the weapon. An item.
I hope so. I was hoping to do that before we started, and I broke down. I went to take a nap.
No, I know. Especially after the movie. That movie. Do you guys see it today?
Last
No.
night.
No, that's good. That's good. But yeah, everybody. I'm probably gonna see it again soon.
Wow.
No, it's good. David, did you see it?
No, probably this Saturday.
Yeah, man, get in there, man. It's worth it. It's a step beyond pretty much anything
It's
else.
better than the comics.
I'm not sure it's better than the comics, but it's I think as good as the comics. It's very difficult
Nah.
to do justice to the
They
comics.
left out the X-Men, man.
Well, I mean,
They
there's
can't.
no Silver Surfer either.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer, Adam Warlock. Come on.
Well, Adam Warlock's gonna be in the second one. He's
Marvel probably too.
yeah, Marvel too, but we'll see. But anyway, okay. Oh yeah, before I think because well, I'm going to leave you some homework in
Yay.
which create a character page, a character page. Well, create. Okay, let me write it down here. Create a creation page for each one of these. An edit and a roster for each one.
Create an edit and roster page for characters, items, and weapons.
Yep, and a delete page too. You don't even need to create the page for itself. Just put the delete link on what do you call that? Put the delete link on the name itself, on the roster.
All right.
You know what I mean?
A create page and a roster page with delete options.
Yes, and edit options too. Ooh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So create page, roster page, and options, delete and edit links right next to each one. I'm gonna write it up on the what do you call it? Write it up on the Facebook page. Yeah, I think it's very important because once we're able to do that, then we need to. Hmm, then we could shift our goal to programming, actual programming. That's when we're going to start because the database part it's kind of very very important. But from now on, everything we worked on, we kind of have to assume that okay, database and data is there. Let's use it and let's accomplish what we're here to accomplish and what we're here to learn.
That sounds fair.
Yes, yeah. But again, this stuff is extremely important and extremely powerful. Um, again, the guy we hired last time, he couldn't do most of the stuff that we're doing now. Like seriously. And we gave him a good shot. We gave him about 6 months for him to learn this stuff, and he was not able to pick it up. Do you know what 6 months is? 6 months, it's a lot of time.
It's half of
Yeah.
365 days.
It is. And this is getting paid
And at
too.
least like 12.
Yeah.
And
And
at
this
least like 8 hours a day, man.
exactly. And I mean, I sat down with him and pretty much did exactly what I'm doing with you guys, but I don't know. We'll see. I think he went back to training though. He went back to because we had to let him go. And he's a lot better now, I guess, because he didn't realize the opportunity that he had at the moment or something. But he went back to training, and I think he's a lot better now because I received a couple of calls from for as a reference, so I was his reference in a way. I mean, he was good, but just we needed somebody who a little bit with a little bit more hustle, I think. But yes, so yeah, for now we're gonna be chilling here, and I'm gonna think about what the next step to the project is. I trust that I'm gonna zip this up and I'm gonna send it on, what do you call that? On Discord, and then you guys can play around with it, or you could just create your own. It's up to you. And this is good. If you guys can accomplish this, then we can move on and start doing some more stuff. Okay. And yeah, I think when are we good? Sunday. Let's see. I'm going.
5.
How are we good? How are we doing on Sunday? Yeah, I guess I'll be around 3. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I might be around
Sunday.
after maybe like I'll probably good for 3, but because I'm going to this convention this weekend. But I'll be back here probably like 3 to 4. So if I'm not here
Oh,
at 3, then I'll probably be here at 3:30 or something like that. All right.
Okay. And just
yeah.
to clarify for the homework, we're not just doing a create and roster page. We're doing the same thing for items and characters.
Yep.
So we're gonna have
Exactly.
6 pages.
Well, you're gonna have more pages. Remember, because you have to have an edit page and well, not you don't need a page for delete, but yeah, you need one for edit.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's also up to you guys to figure it out. So yes, so
hmm.
create roster, and then the roster have links to delete and edit for that certain character. And I'm not sure if you guys remember how to do that, and hopefully you can. This is great homework. This is amazing. Actually, in fact, I might leave that for. Yeah, no, we're good. It's up to you guys. Let's see how much hustle you guys are going to put in here if you got time. I don't know. But that would be amazing, though. And then we will move on to more programming and focus on programming and classes and all that good stuff. All right, so I'm going to stop recording here, but I do have a couple of questions.